Hail Satan! We bring you this sacrifice. We summon the darkness.
Yes. This is satanic black metal.
So, I just saw We Summon the Darkness, and partially it was fun, but mostly it was exhausting, to say the least. So this is written by Alan Trezza and directed by Mark Myers, starring Alessandria Daddario, Keen Johnson, and Maddie Hasten. Johnny Knoxville also appears in a couple of posters, but it's more like a cameo, if anything else. Like, if you're thinking Johnny Knoxville was going to be a big part of this movie, then the posters have been misleading. Well, let's get right into the plot. I think that's the best way I can explain to you what I liked and didn't like about this. So, we have three college girls doing a road trip to this metal festival where they meet these three guys, and they go out to one of the chicks' house later on.
Girls, be careful now. There's a lot of evil out
And it turns out that the girls have spiked the boys' drinks, and that they're actually killing people in this house on a regular basis, and they're disguising it as a satanic ritual so they don't get blamed. And if you think that this general plot of the whole entire thing is convoluted and contrived, then you have no idea how convoluted and contrived this movie still gets. What I liked is it has some fun gore moments. It has a bunch of surprises, but nothing really that you wouldn't expect. So that's kind of where the problem of the whole entire movie is. It thinks it is just so much cleverer than it actually is, and it thinks its audience is much stupider than it actually is, and that's where it kind of starts failing. In a way, I also think it doesn't really know exactly what it wants to be, because sometimes it tries to be this real thriller, like this big girls versus boys type of fight, but you don't. The characters aren't properly developed at the beginning, which leads you to not really caring about anybody, and it's like the three girls and the three boys are basically the same person, and you can't really differentiate between any of them, and that's what kind of makes the whole entire movie a bit stale and dry. It's like, you could do this just so creatively, but instead what they end up doing is just involving more and more people so they can keep the action going. The characters that they created here just aren't worthy enough to carry the entire plot on their own, so they keep getting more and more characters into the movie. It's sort of like a shame, because with a little bit more care to the dialogue and to actual character development, especially in this movie, this could have actually been really cool. But instead, we get this weird-ass thriller that's somehow trying to be funny and somehow suspenseful at the same time, but doesn't really do anything. And what you're just kind of left with is a bunch of people screaming and killing each other, and the kills are sometimes really creative and really fun, but not enough to like make me really care about this movie. The acting is okay. It's passable indie film acting. It's just that I have the feeling that these actors weren't given enough to work with, and it kind of gives them, it kind of takes away the opportunity to deliver a good performance because you're just not given enough to work with here. This is like so forgettable. It's really like your run-of-the-mill average film here, and I don't know, it's stream it if you're bored, but I wouldn't waste money on it, that's for sure. It's really just a bunch of Yeah, and I'm gonna give We Summon the Darkness a 5 out of 10.
Good riddance.
Sorry. So, let's look at our list. Well, this doesn't really do anything to the top of the chart anyway at all. It's all the same. We still have our same top 3. When we look at the bottom of the chart, it's pretty much on top with... It's one of the better, worse movies of the year, if you like. Time will just tell if this one and Dreamcatcher will make it to the top half or the bottom half of the year. I'm really interested in what direction these things are going to go.